Cart pushers, you got to keep your eyes on very closely. There's two major hideouts that these cart pushers will use when they're trying to do dirt or hide merchandise, conceal merchandise. One of those hiding spots is going to be the cart bay. Now, from all the stores that I've been in, whether it was PTZ cameras or just stationary cameras, I've never been in the store where they've had a camera that's actually inside of the cart bay. There's a camera that shows an overview of it from the vestibule, but there's not a camera inside the cart bay itself. That's one of the spots that these cart pushers will use to take the merchandise, conceal the merchandise, consume the merchandise. So it's very important that when you're doing the floor walking, that you make your presence be felt through the cart bay. In the cart bay area, outside, let these cart pushers know that you're there, that you just not inside watching people inside of the store, that you outside watching the parking lot, you checking the exterior. The cart pushers is gonna see that. And when they see you outside, when they see you make a presence outside of the store, inside the vestibule, going through the cart bays, like it's going to deter them from wanting to bring any type of merchandise in the cart bay itself. You feel me? So that's what you want to deter. You want to deter as much as you can. You feel me? Give them the benefit of the doubt in a way. Because if they really want it, they will figure it out. You feel me? But they just gonna have to go another way about it. So that's one of the ways that they will hide the merchandise. A lot of people will park all the way in the back of the store, on the side of the store, and a lot of time these cart pushers will take a lot of breaks. They'll stop in their car, take a little 5-minute, 10-minute break, and they in and out of the store. So you got to keep your eye on them. Like, they are able to go back into the store, take lunches, breaks, use the bathroom, get out of the elements if it's raining real bad, hailing, thunderstorms, snowing, too hot, things like that. So, it's easy to lose track of these cart pushers real quick. I've caught cart pushers that just grab bag of chips off of the front end and just walk straight to the Bay Area and then start eating them and then start working. You feel me? So that's what put me on to cart pushers in the first place. Was my first cart pusher that was an internal. And the dude was cool. He came in, did his job real quiet. But one day he was walking the floor and I was right behind him and he didn't notice. And I seen him select a bag of hot fries. He took them to the cart bay. And what was even more dumb on his part was the cart bay that he took it to is right beside my office. So, I got the cameras on him. I'm watching him eat the bag of hot fries. And from there on, I was just on him. I was like, all right, well, if he was comfortable taking the bag of hot fries and just going right out the door, that means he's been doing this for a while now. You feel me? He's been doing this for a while. Just by the way he took them, walked out without even looking around him, behind him. When it comes to these cart pushers, understand the game that they will utilize the Bay Areas. They will utilize their cars. Now, another way that these cart pushers will conceal merchandise and do dirt is they will use the bathrooms, especially the handicap bathroom. They will use the bathroom all the way in the back. They will use the back room as far as the break room goes. Now, the blind spot for us is the break room. The reason why, that store in West Virginia had that active shooter incident in the break room was because that active shooter knew, which was an employee, knew that there was no camera coverage in the break room. You feel me? On top of that's where they was having a meeting. But they need to they need to add cameras into the break room, because anybody that's in this position knows that once they go into the break room, we lose all elements. That's like a shoplifter going into the bathroom or the fitting room. Like once they, go into those places, like we lose all elements and we have to reestablish all those elements again, which could be very hard because you do not have camera coverage in the break room. So we don't know if that merchandise was ditched. We don't know if that merchandise was given to someone else. Anybody from the management team or got good connection with the management team, tell they ass that they need to upgrade they security, and they need to add cameras in the break room. Because, I mean, outside of active shooter incidents that's happened in the break room, you got fights between associates that have happened in the break room, and you got associates that will steal from other associates, especially at nighttime, because ain't nobody back there. Everybody's personal bags and purses are back there, and anybody can go inside those purses or backpacks and get what they want. You feel me? So we have camera coverage outside of the break room, but like I said, any store that I've ever been into when it comes to Walmart, Safeway, um, any retail store, Target, like there's never been a camera in the break room. They got cameras everywhere else in the store but the break room. I don't know why. Because like I said, if you're an employee and you don't have a locker or a car, and the only place you can put your purse or your backpack is in the break room, it is a very high possibility that your stuff is going to be stolen by another employee. Just saying, you feel me? So those are ways that cart pushers will do dirt, conceal merchandise, and, you know, get the merchandise that they want. So be on the lookout for those cart bays. Um, be on the lookout for what cars, you know, cart pushers are driving, where they like to park, and just observe how they like to, you know, what they day-to-day looks like. You know, do they really work? Are they slacking off? Are they in the store more than they're out of the store doing their actual job? And these are things that you could pick up on that'll kind of help you tell whether somebody, like a car pusher, is going to be an internal or be an issue in the workplace. You feel what I'm saying? So with the cart pushers, understand they got a lot of freedom. They got a lot of freedom versus being in other positions in the store, you know, like cashier, sales floor associates, backroom associates, where you've got management breathing down your neck. You know, a cart pusher, it ain't really too much to it. Management ain't really tripping on the cart pushers too much unless, you know, you got empty bays. You know, when you got customers coming in and they complaining about having no carts, that's when management will go outside and start pressing the issue. But outside of that, as a former cart pusher, I'm telling you, if you got both bays filled up, management, they ain't coming to bother you. So you got all the free time you want. You can do what you want. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you. You know, employees, they really don't care too much for you because you are a cart pusher. So they don't care about what you're doing. So it's easy to be invisible as a cart pusher. You know what I mean? Even though you wearing a green reflective vest, like, ain't nobody really paying attention to you. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care about no cart pushers. Having cart pushers, you don't want to just be pressing them all the time if you feel like they're internal. If you don't know, then don't press them, because there is an upside to having cart pushers. You know what I'm saying? So, like, in my day, because everybody knows the rule that we cannot go into the parking lot, I would utilize my cart pushers. I have a cart pusher come to me and I'll be like, hey, I need you to go get that license plate off that car over there. And just when you go over there, don't make it obvious. Just act like you're going over there collecting carts, like you're doing your normal job. Get the license plate number, bring it back to me. So the cart pusher gonna go over there, grab the license plate. He gonna collect a couple carts. He gonna push him over. He gonna give me that info. Boom. You feel me? So outside of cart pushers being internals, they could be a huge help when it comes to the AP world. I promise you, especially because everybody know we can't touch the parking lot. Well, the cart pushers can. You feel me? So, you know, there had came a time where, like, down the road, me and cart pushers got cool, and when I gave them a signal, they already knew what was up. When I gave them that signal, get that tag, they got the tag. You feel me? So, or if I seen a known shoplifter come into the store and I already know where they parked at, while I'm keeping observation on them when they came into the store, I'm gonna have the cart pusher go and get that information and then give it to me later. You feel me? And I promise you, I've got a lot of apprehensions off of that alone by just utilizing my cart pushers, getting that information, and just being low key with it. You feel me? You know, and then sometimes I would reward my cart pushers, you know what I'm saying? Like if they need something, then I buy it for them. They want lunch, I buy them lunch, you know, shit like that. Cause a nigga eat good off those cart pushers, you feel me? Especially when I can't go into the parking lot. I use my cart pushers. So that's just a little game right there, you know. Cart pushers, just like anybody else, can be internals, but they could be a big help on the other side when we're trying to catch shoplifters and get license plate numbers and things like that, because we are not allowed to go into the parking lot. You feel me? So if I got a car that's parked all the way in the back of the parking lot and I need that license plate number or the description, you feel me, or any type of information, I'm sending my cart pusher, you know, period. Because if I touch that parking lot, I'm gonna lose my job. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. So it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Work smarter, not harder. You feel me? And that's what it is when it comes to the cart pushers. Now, let's move inside of the store and let's talk about the cap team, man, because this is another one of those positions that I have experience in. I was a cap team member for like a year and a half, 2 years. And so I know all the tricks to the trade. I know how they're going to try to get away with dirt. So me being an AP and having the knowledge of being on the cap team, I already know what to look for. So first off, when they come in for their shift, that cage, that rolling cage for the high theft merchandise needs to be in camera view. It needs to stay in camera view from the time that y'all start unloading this truck until the time that y'all are done. And if there ain't no high theft merchandise being put into the rolling cage, then the rolling cage needs to be locked and secured at all times. Trash compactor needs to be locked and secured at all times, period. You feel me? Now, as an APA, you need to get a print off, a list of all the high theft merchandise that's coming off that day's truck. And you could do this during the process, verify everything that's coming off, or you could wait until they are completely done with all their trucks and then verify that you got everything that's on that high theft merchandise list, right? And so let's just say on a good day that everything has been verified, you confirmed it, make sure all that high theft merchandise is locked up. You feel me? Period. And so when it comes to unloaders, a lot of the dirt is going to be done inside of the truck during the unloading process. Because whoever's throwing the truck knows that all they got to do is fill up that line. And when that line get backed up and they got to stop because they got to wait for the other associates to free up pallet space or, you know, make room or whatever the case may be, gives them the small window that they need to rip open that box, take whatever it is that's in it, conceal it, and get rid of the evidence. You feel me? And now there's many ways that they're going to try to get rid of the evidence. They can conceal it on them and then get rid of it when they go to the bathroom or when they get to the car, or they'll stuff it into a brake pack box, or they will stuff it in between the trailer and the loading dock. So that's why it's important when APAs do their perimeter walk that you go around to the loading dock and you check right there, and you're going to find packages, tags, you feel me? And those are going to be clues of internal theft, I promise you. So at any point in time that you cannot verify anything that's on that high theft merchandise list, somebody's doing some funny business. And you got to get down to who's doing what, how it's being done, and you got to verify what's being, you know, stolen. So depending on what's being stolen will help you decipher how it's getting out in the first place. So let's say you are missing, you know, some like 3 pairs of, you know, Beat headphones this size, right? And you're like, okay, well, it says that it came in on brake pack boxes. Boom. You've already pinpointed where you need to start looking. Who was in charge of doing brake pack boxes on this day? Boom. You sync all your cameras and you start watching whoever's doing brake pack boxes, right? And that'll help you kind of narrow things down. It'll help you save time when you're doing video review, right? Now, if you're looking for something like a game console, we know that came off the truck. Now we need to look at everybody who is on the truck. Where's the electronics pallet set up? Where's the rolling cage at? You want to take a look at where all the electronics are being stacked when they come off the truck. That's going to help you minimize where you need to look. And then you go from there. Now, once again, associates are not allowed to have personal bags or purses in the work area. So anybody that goes into the work area with a purse or backpack is already on my radar because they already know the rules. They already go through this during the orientation. You feel me? So for them to say that they don't know is just BS. You feel me? So anybody that go back there with a personal bag or a purse already on my radar. They're not allowed. Like I said before, if they do not have a locker or a personal car, they need to leave it in the break room. And that's on them. You got to take that risk of somebody actually going in there and stealing your shit. That's just what it comes down to. But for any reason, for no reason at all, it is not allowed in the back room. I've had people get mad at me, cuss me out because I wouldn't let them keep their backpack in the back room because they had, stuff that was valuable in there. But I didn't give a fuck. Look, we got stuff that's valuable back here too. And we not playing that. You can get mad all you want to. You feel me? But for no reason, for no reason, any reason at all, is there any bags allowed to be in the back room. So if you catch a bag in the back room, first thing you need to do is obviously figure out who it belongs to, right? And then I would check to see how long they've been bringing that backpack back there in the back. And then why not also check to see if, they've been, taking merchandise. Because 9 times out of 10, somebody that goes to the personal work area with a book bag is probably stealing. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. Anybody that goes into the work area with a book bag, in my experience, has always been a green light. Always, Now, you might catch a couple that might be honest, but most of the time, they internals. You feel me? So, Cap Team is overwhelmed with a lot of trucks. Like on GM side, they might get 2 trucks for the GM side. And then on the grocery side, they might get 1 to 2 trucks. And then, they got the frozen dairy truck they got to worry about. Then the produce truck. Then they got McLean. So being a Cap Team member is a hard job. And that's why that is one of the top positions that has a high turnover ratio, because it is a difficult job and you don't have enough staff as it is. And then when you get 2 to 3 trucks on the GM side and you don't have enough room, the back room is crazy. There's no room to work. There's no room to move around. There's no room to shrink wrap any pallets. Like, the shit is crazy. And then on top of that, you got freight that is just stacked to the fucking ceiling, which could cause a huge blind spot for us, because if you got a pallet that is stacked to the fucking ceiling, it's blocking the camera view. And if it's blocking the camera view, you can't see what's going on. And a lot of associates know this. So that's why they will purposely stack these pallets so high, put them in front of camera view, block the view. That way they can do their dirt later on, when everybody else leaves. Because after like 6 o'clock, management gone. Ain't nobody in the back room. It's a ghost town. So you free to do whatever you want. That's why it's important to keep our eyes on whoever's doing brake packs and to keep eyes on the Cap Team until they done taking everything out to the floor. Because there is a lot of there's like a very big window for any of those associates to conceal whatever they want when they come off the truck, especially in the back room. They can go into one of the aisles, and conceal there, and we wouldn't even know, because not every aisle in the back room, when it comes to those departments, have cameras. We have cameras like in the main aisles, but like when you go into certain aisles in the back room, there's no cameras. So one thing I would advise though is that just because there's no cameras in those aisles doesn't mean that there ain't nothing that you can do. I have put out a video about requisitioning merchandise. And so if it's cool with your management team, this is what I would do in today's era. For especially stores that don't have PTZ cameras and you have like a lot of major blind spots, I would get permission to use GoPro cameras. And I would stage them in just certain departments in the store or certain areas where you being hit, but you ain't got no camera coverage. And watch how many people you catch. Set it up. Set them up. Whether it's in the produce, frozen dairy, the back room where the cap team working at, wherever they like to go to do all their dirt, and you see it on camera, but you ain't got no camera coverage over there, put a GoPro over there and see what you come up with. I promise you're going to be lighting them up left and right. And so, I don't think they would have a problem with, y'all using GoPro, especially if it's for the store's benefit. You know what I mean? You helping them, And y'all know, just like I know, a lot of these stores are cheap when it comes to their security. You know what I mean? Like, it don't make no sense how they waste money on extra security, but they don't invest into their own security. Like, that's one thing that pissed me off. I know I'm getting off topic, but like, they hire us to do a job, but then y'all hire a third-party security company to patrol the parking lot, but then they can't even do shit. So what's the difference? I feel like that's a slap in the face to us when they hire third-party security that can't even do no more than what we can do. You feel me? I could see if they could go hands-on, they could stop some motherfucking body, but they can't go hands-on. They can't stop shoplifters. You know what I mean? They can't do shit. All they there is just be invisible, wasting money. Wasting money when they could just allow us. Honestly, thinking about it, they do allow us. We can go into the parking lot. The only rule around not going into the parking lot is when we're going after a shoplifter. Outside of that, we are allowed to go into the parking lot. There has been times where I have not been watching nobody and I do a parking lot check just because I'm looking at cars that's been sitting in the same spot for about a week, 2 weeks, just to come to find out that, somebody dead in that bitch. You feel me? So that's why, I do parking lot checks, shit like that. Finding needles and shit on the ground, having maintenance come and clean it up, things like that. Safety check, safety sweep. So we are allowed to go into the parking lot, just not when we're going after shoplifters. So I don't understand why they hire third-party security companies to do the same shit that we doing. Like I said, that unloading process, that dirt is being done while they in the truck. Soon as that line stop, boom, that's a small window for him to open the box, take whatever out, conceal, the evidence in they pants, they jacket, and ditch it when they go to the bathroom or when they go to their car. That's how they gonna do it. So that's what it comes to when it comes to dealing with internals on the cart pusher side and the cap team side. Now, be looking out for these telltale signs. Now, the mannerisms are still going to be the same as an external shoplifter. They still gonna show the same signs, looking up in the ceiling for cameras, checking their surroundings every 5 minutes, asking if AP's still here, if certain members of management is still present, you feel me? Things like that, So when you are watching these cart pushers, remember to be on the lookout for them bringing unpaid for merchandise in the work area inside of the cart bay itself. Be on the lookout for them bringing their personal bags or purses in the work area, which is not allowed. If they do not have a locker or a card, and they have to take it to the break room and risk their stuff being stolen by another associate. Now, when it comes to the cap team, understand the game. that a lot of that dirt is going to be done inside of the truck as they're unloading it. You feel me? And then it might happen again later on in the night when all of management is gone and the back room is a ghost town. You feel me? And you got whoever's sorting out brake packs, which has a nice bulk amount of high theft merchandise in it. You feel me? Ranging from, phone cases to game controllers, Xbox controller, PS5 controllers. You feel me? So with that being said, Eagle family, stand y'all's ground, make an impact, be on the lookout for these internals, and let's get to work. You feel me? So with that being said, I want to thank the Eagle family for tapping in. It's your boy, Eagle Eye Miller. Till next time, raw and unscripted.